dynamic entry. Guess what? It's me by myself this week. My buddy Benny couldn't be here for this final review, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. So let's talk about the finale of Spy Family. Okay, so this is episode 12 of Spy Family. This is going to be the final episode of this core. So core 2 starts in October, I believe. So that'll be another 12 episodes. So this episode was the finale for the season. And it was an episode. I expected a little bit more. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Halfway through it, I was watching it and I was like, oh, okay, this is okay. It's gonna pick up, right? And maybe I was wrong. Maybe 13 is actually the end of the series for this season, and then it'll pick up after that. And maybe it's not 12, because 12 seems like a big filler episode, and it was kind of a big filler episode, especially like after last week's little cliffhanger we got Bond Dog. We were like, okay, we're gonna see Bond Dog finally in this episode, and we're gonna have a happy family. But no, we just got left hanging, and we got an episode where fucking Lloyd takes his family to the aquarium because he's just not being a good family man, I guess, according to his neighbors who are all around him, and they're just judging him. They're like, hey, he's not really a good father. I never see him with him. I heard he has like a small dick, and it's like, what? That has nothing to do with you. Don't worry about yourself. Don't worry about this man over here. Anyway, so Lloyd gets wind of it, and he's like, I probably should take him out. It's been kind of a long time. So he ends up taking Anya and Yor on an aquarium trip. He said, let's go and have some fun, be a family, but also get these neighbors off my back because they'll see us spending time together. And yeah, he's been kind of like bogged down by the mission that he's getting, and plus his agency keeps sending him to do other missions, so he's kind of just like becoming tired and like a shell of himself. So the whole episode you see him just kind of like slouched over, and he's like, oh yeah, whatever. So he's a little bit burnt out, so he kind of needed this himself. So we get to the aquarium. It's all fun and games. Anya's going crazy. She's like, damn, look at all these animals. It's fucking lit, whatever. And Lloyd's like, yeah, it's pretty cool. And lo and behold, who's at the aquarium? Yeah, that's right. The same neighbors who were talking about him. They were like, oh, I guess you're here with us? I didn't realize you were a good father. You're kind of a piece of shit. I mean, we've seen it. We are talking about it. And so Yor's like, oh no, come join our party. And Lloyd's kind of like, oh shit, I have to go do some other stuff because he actually got sent to the aquarium by the agency. They said, hey, there's a penguin in this aquarium. It has something shoved inside of it. It's important. So another rival agency or whatever is gonna retrieve the message. So you need to intercept the mission by getting this penguin and taking out whatever it has in its mouth. So that was kind of the ruse of him going to the aquarium. It was like, hey, let's go on a trip to the aquarium, but really I need to be doing my mission. So he's worried that Yor invited this neighbors to his mission because he's like, well, if they're here watching us the whole time, when am I gonna find time to go find this penguin? So, being the spy that he is, he sees a lowly employee who's just kind of walking around, kind of a dummy. He's not, first day or whatever. Knocks him out, gives him a quick little chop. Takes his uniform, puts it on, and he becomes this guy, and then he's the new employee. So they're all the zookeepers are like, or what do you call aquarium keepers? Anyway, the workers at the aquarium are like, hey man, I know it's your first day, so we're gonna go down the rundown of things. It might take you a little bit to get used to the progress around here. And Lloyd's like, well, I know a lot about these penguins. This is this penguin, this is this penguin, that's Jimmy, that's Johnny, that's Lawrence. And then you're like, whoa, he knows all the penguins immediately? How did he learn that? They don't know that he's like a super spy and he knows all this shit. So they're impressed. They're like, wow, he actually learned the job pretty fast. And Lloyd's like, yeah, whatever. Let me go help these other penguins out. He finds his target. He's like, hey, that's the penguin right there. The emperor penguin. It has the missions inside of it, so I gotta go to it. So he beelines it to this penguin. I believe some other penguins kind of come up to him, and he's kind of like dealing with them. Anyway, he finally gets to the penguin, and the penguin's like, oh, I don't want to eat. So he's like, oh, let me take this penguin, let me go and work on it back here, because he looks like he doesn't want to eat. And they're like, oh yeah, sure, go for it. You know a lot more than we thought you did. So as Lloyd is taking the penguin to the back, he's like, okay, let's see what we got here. Opens his mouth, he sees that there's something inside of the penguin. He's like, okay, I gotta get this. And when he's doing this, another guy walks in, he's like, hey, that penguin needs to be in the infirmary. What are you doing over here? I'll take it from you. And Lloyd's like, well, I don't really know who you are. You're probably the enemy spy. So Lloyd questions him, obviously, because Lloyd's not a dummy. So the guy gets closer to him and he's like, let me see your badge. And the enemy guy's like, well, and then boom, gets punched in his face. I think he gets punched. I don't know. Something happens. They get into a scuffle, and the guy starts running away, and he's like, "Oh shit!" Takes off. Whatever. Lloyd's like, "Well, damn, I gotta get him." But also, meanwhile, the employees who actually run the aquarium are like, "Hey, what are you doing with that penguin? He doesn't belong over here." And he's like, "Oh shit." So he grabs the information out of the penguin, and he darts away or whatever. Meanwhile, the man's running through the aquarium and ends up. I think he takes Anya. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I kind of fell asleep halfway through the episode. I woke up to it. He bumps into her or takes Anya or some shit like that. I think he takes her, and he's running with Anya, and he's like, okay, I gotta get away, whatever. And Yor gets wind of this, as she always does, and comes in clutch at the very end, gives him a boom kick to the chin. He's like, oh, fucking hits the ceiling and everything, and he passes out and saves the day. Yada yada. They meet up again. Lloyd gets the whatever contents of that was inside the penguin. He gets that. He shakes hands with the neighbors. He's like, hey, you are a good father after all. And he realizes, like, oh, I kind of needed this day. This was a nice day. Oh, and it actually ends with him getting, they're like, Lloyd, where you been at the whole time? And he's like, oh, I was over here trying to win a penguin for Anya on this little machine game that I'm playing. It was really hard. And Anya's like, reading his mind, like, it's not that hard. You fucking did it one try. Why are you lying? Anyway, he gets a big penguin for Anya and gives it to Anya. And Anya's real hype about it. She's like, oh, this is fucking cute. Let's go home. And they go home. And Anya's playing by herself? Yeah, she's playing by herself, and then she gets sad or something. I don't know. Again, I was kind of halfway asleep, and it ends up being Lloyd and Yor are playing with Anya. Anya's like, oh, okay, you guys want to play with me? Okay, cool. You be the penguin, you be my other stuffed animal, and they put the little penguin and stuffed animals in front of their faces, and they start chasing Anya out the house, and like they run around the streets, and they're playing like Spy Man or whatever, and she's the Spy Man, and the penguin and the other one are her subordinates, and everyone sees it, and they're all laughing, having a good time, like, oh, look at that family, they're so cute over there. So that was the episode. Pretty much a filler, and I was kind of disappointed, not gonna lie. Probably like not my favorite episode of the season, and it kind of sucks that it came on the finale of this season. So I mean, if it would have been like in the grand scheme of the 24 episodes, like all at once, I'd be like, okay, I get it, there's a few filler episodes that you need to fill, so I got it, not a big deal. But to end it on this, a letdown. So yeah, that was the finale, and as far as the first half of this season goes, I'm digging it. You heard me and Benny talking about it the past however many weeks. If you haven't, it's down below in the subscribe area, somewhere around there, you'll find it. Anyway, we've been talking about it, so we've been praising the show. So overall, this series is, for me, the only series that I've been watching really this spring season. It's my weekly, and it's been keeping me interested for the most part. I mean, for me being a shonen only, or battle shonen only watcher, not only, but main watcher, it's kept my interest. It's been pretty good. It's been more, like we said, more slice of lifey, more comedy, and it's nice to have something like that, I guess, to watch. It's been really, like, cozy. It's a cozy show for those who enjoy cozy watches. So if you haven't seen it yet, I don't know why you're watching the finale review of it. You should have been watching other reviews. Anyway, if you haven't watched the season, I suggest you get on it now. It's exciting. It's hype for a reason. Everyone's talking about it for a reason. It's funny. It's cute. It's cozy. It's endearing. Characters are great. 5 out of 5 this season so far. No, I'm not lying. I'm lying. It wouldn't be a 5 out of 5 for me. It's more like a 4. 4 for me. A 4 out of 5 for me, because there are some lowly parts for it. Again, I don't know if it's because I'm mainly into battle shonen type anime that it hasn't kept my interest, but there's been some episodes like today's or last week's episode that's been kind of slow and more like family involved. And for me, I'm like, family's cool and all, but like I'm not watching a show to talk about family. I'm watching a show to watch people get beat up or do some cool shit. So the family aspects of the show, I understand it makes the show whole. It gives it character, it gives it depth. But for me, sometimes I get lost. I get a little bored, I'm not gonna lie to you. But I'm gonna keep watching. I'll watch the second core of this, and me and Benny will be back next August? No, not next August, but August, I think, October. We'll be back reviewing the rest of the season, so stick around for that. And yeah, that's Spy Family for you. That's the finale. That's the series review. My final thoughts on it. Overall, good show to watch. I would suggest picking it up if you haven't already. And yeah, thank you guys for watching thus far, and thank you for watching the reviews, all that fun stuff. Subscribe down below if you'd like to. I appreciate it. Also, follow us. All the information will be down below, and yeah, I guess we'll catch you guys with the reviews next core. But stick around for more videos coming in the future that are not just reviews, fun videos. If you haven't watched any of those videos, also in the bottom section, you'll find it there anyway. But yeah, thank you guys, and catch you guys in the next mission.